give each student a rubber track, have them guess which animal, you want them to guess which animal made it. Some of these are really like animals they're not going to be familiar with, so that's not and then they can match up which rubber molds fit with the cast. Okay, so it's kind of like a matching activity. So, and then it does say what it is. It'll, like this is a Canadian goose. It's printed on the inside of it kind of small. So you'll be able to know what it is.
For this center, for center 2, I'm not sure that they're getting a matchup. That's more in center 4 that we match them. And we have them all bagged separate
and this
together.
Is a mountain lion track.
These are kind of all various ones.
There's a lot. We didn't, they gave us something we didn't really. And what I did is I split about half of them up in center 2 and then half of them up in center 4. Because there's a window shade story that has to do with certain animals that do something on window shade. And I took the ones out of the center 2 and center 4. Okay, and there's more than enough in this bin to cover 15 minutes. Okay, and then once you guys have kind of talked about tracks for a few minutes, move on to other traces. Ask the students what other kinds of traces animals might leave behind. So there's anything from shed skin or fur, feathers, animals can leave behind scents, partly eaten foods. When you talk about the partly eaten foods, here is an owl pellet. Okay, and I believe in 4th grade the kids dissect owl pellets here at Mitchell. So the 4th graders may have already done this, but I doubt already.
And we'll do it in ELF next year.
Yeah.
And this 1 year we'll do it now.
But anyway, an owl pellet, when they pop up the pellet or whatever, like an advertisal, it'll show when they dissect it.
Can you see all this? Oh, I just want to take a quick picture. Thanks. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, hairball. Okay. Oh, and speaking of that, this is a hairball from the mountain lion. Okay. Great. I think the kids are going to love this center because it's about food. I mean, where are my food?
Is it done? Okay, great. Thanks.
And not that you guys ever really have time to go through the books, but like, there's this book, Who Pooped in the Park? And some other just various books. We usually put on the book, like what are the good pages to show the kids if you're wanting to show them things out of a book. So there's like 4 books. But I think
That's right.
Always start with the books. Oh yeah.
Always start with the books and say look for it. Coyote scat. Now these ones are these little computer cards.
Mountain lion hairball. Great. That's what you wanted to see.
Okay, and then you can talk about what can be learned from animals from different kinds of traces. What the traces themselves leave behind. Okay. Oh, so like you might even want to start out the trace discussion kind of halfway down under other traces. Like what kinds of traces do the kids leave around their house? Like how does your mom and dad know that you were in a certain room? It's because your shoes are thrown all over, and so you can talk about how humans leave a lot of traces also, and with the environment. Okay, and then like this, there's also rubber scat, the owl pellets, chewed bones. Okay, this is an example of a chewed stick about halfway down on other traces. And then porcupine quills, I think, are going around. Okay. Each trace is labeled by animal. And then you can also have the kids match the scat to the track. So, we also have snake skin. Okay, we've got snake skin, we have bird nests, we have all kinds of
There's a box of bird nests in the ELF closet on the shelf. Yeah, we didn't bring it up here. So a bird nest is naturally a trace because, there's so many animals left behind. Yep. Similar to backpack shoes and their underwear.
Okay. And then at the very end, if you have time, then they get to do this fun stuff, or you can even spend the bulk of the time doing this, depending on what grade level you're at. You take the rubber casts, and you can either I have like 8 things of Play-Doh in there, and they can actually squish the stuff into the molds and make their own tracks, which we love this hands-on stuff with the elf. So you squish it in pretty good, and then it is kind of hard to get out. You have to squeeze it like this, and kind of release the rubber mold and kind of shake it. And then this is a batter track. Okay. Now, Carrie sent out a homemade recipe for Play-Doh.
Not yet.
Oh, she's going to. And if you want to, like, it would be expensive. If you want the kids to take their own sample home at the end, we have paper plates that they can bring them home on. But like Play-Doh is just going to dry up and get nasty. Depending on if you check the schedule, if you guys want to do something really crazy like plaster of Paris or something, and then come back a couple days later and pop them out, depending. Now, if you had another elf class that afternoon, you're not going to be able to do that, obviously. But if you know that there's 3 or 4 days where there's no elf classes and you want to do plaster of Paris in these, that is totally fine. So.
At Target, they have big buckets. I don't know if they still have it because they had it of white clay.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, you can use Play-Doh, you can use clay, whatever you want. If you want the kids to be able to take something home of their favorite track that they picked out, and you can kind of buddy up with whoever is doing Center 4, and like there's a giant bear track in there. So, I mean, the Center 4 stuff does not have to go with the window shade. You can kind of mix and match them. So anyway, that's that. And, but like I brought this in when the Red Rocks kids were still here, and like a whole bunch of kids came over and just wanted to do this. So that kind of showed how popular that was going to be. So, and this is a mountain lion track.
So if they're taking them home, write their name on their paper plate, and we didn't put Ziplocs in there. Teachers have oodles of Ziplocs, just put it in a Ziploc and put it with them. I don't know what they want to do with them in their desk, their backpack, I don't know. They might get kind of mushy. But we'll send out a home recipe for homemade Play-Doh. But no matter what, that class volunteer for this center has to provide the Play-Doh. We don't have it in our budget, so that's an added expense for you that you need to be aware of.
Okay, and then like the biggest track that we have out of Center 2 and 4 is a bear track. So
That needs a lot of Play-Doh.
you need to make a lot of Play-Doh for this bad boy. Because all the kids will want to do this one. And then here is the imprint that it makes. They all come with rubber molds or whatever, so they can kind of see what it's going to look like. That's the small. Here's the big. Okay, and then here is plastic bear scat. So. And then some of these, we tried to put everything all in one bag, like everything that had to do with bear in one bag.
That's the Center 4.
Yeah, you're not technically, this can be
You're
through.
going to love plastic bear.
Yeah. Okay. So does anybody have any questions on this particular center?